Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into a topic that is moving at lightning speed, the future of AI security. As AI gets smarter and smarter, so do the threats. It's creating this whole new digital battlefield where, honestly, just staying ahead is the name of the game.
And that brings us to the really big question we need to tackle. What actually happens when the attacks start to evolve faster than our old security playbooks can handle? It's a massive challenge, and it's forcing all of us to rethink basically everything we thought we knew about cybersecurity.
So to get a handle on where we're going, we first have to understand the threats that are just over the horizon. And believe me, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is what security experts are gearing up for right now.
For years, you could think of cybersecurity like building a fortress, right? You knew what kind of attacks to expect, those generic mass emails, basic malware, and you built your walls to stop them. But AI just throws that whole playbook out the window. Now, attackers can create threats that actually learn, that adapt to our defenses in real time. They can be so personalized they look like they came from your boss or a trusted colleague. It is a fundamental shift from predictable to truly adaptive warfare.
Okay, so how soon is soon? When can we actually expect these kinds of threats to become a part of our daily reality? Well, let's take a look at a timeline that maps out their evolution from just a theory to a real-world danger.
What's really striking here is just how fast this is escalating. We're talking about advanced voice cloning becoming a common, mainstream threat within the next year or so. Right after that, real-time video deepfakes and autonomous hacking bots are set to follow. By 2027, which is not that far away, we could be dealing with behavioral cloning. And that's exactly what it sounds like. AI that can perfectly mimic a person's writing style, their coding habits, even their decision-making process. And then, way out on the horizon, you've got the combination of quantum computing and AI, which threatens to break the very encryption that holds our digital world together.
Okay, let's zoom in on a couple of these because they're huge. Real-time deepfakes, this is a massive leap beyond those pre-recorded fake videos you may have seen. I want you to imagine being on a video call with someone who looks, sounds, and acts exactly like your boss, but it isn't them. This tech allows for live, real-time impersonation, making it incredibly difficult to know who you're really talking to.
And this represents a whole new level of automation in cybercrime. And just to be clear, we're not talking about simple little scripts here. These are self-directing AI agents. They can scout a network, find vulnerabilities, learn from their mistakes, and launch complex attacks, all without a human pulling the strings.
And this is where things get really wild. It's the convergence of two incredibly powerful technologies. Quantum computing has the raw power to potentially shatter the encryption we all rely on. When you combine that with AI's intelligence to guide those attacks with precision, you get a threat that could shake the very foundations of online security.
So, that's the scary stuff. The good news? We're not just sitting around waiting for it to happen. Fighting these threats requires way more than just new tech. It demands a whole new set of rules. So let's look at how the global regulatory response is shaping up as our first line of defense.
Governments are definitely stepping in, and they're writing a new rulebook for anyone building or using AI. And this isn't just bureaucratic red tape. We're talking about essential stuff, like mandatory risk assessments, detailed documentation so we actually know how an AI system works, and real transparency so you know when you're talking to an AI versus a person. And crucially, these rules demand a human in the loop for high-risk decisions and require companies to report when their AI systems mess up.
And this isn't just happening in one country. You've got the EU AI Act in Europe, which is this massive piece of legislation that sorts AI by risk level. Over in the US, you've got a mix of executive orders and frameworks guiding AI governance. So while the approaches might be a little different, the goal is exactly the same: build some guardrails for a safer AI future. The real challenge, of course, is making sure these rules can adapt as quickly as the tech itself.
Look, rules and regulations are a great start, but they're only one piece of the puzzle. The other critical piece? That's the human element. Policies on paper don't mean much if people aren't ready for what's coming. We have to move beyond old-school training and adopt a much more dynamic, adaptive way of educating ourselves.
So does this new kind of training actually work? Well, the data is pretty compelling. Organizations that switch to this adaptive AI security training see a 75% improvement in their employees' ability to spot threats. 75%! That is a massive leap forward.
And this chart, wow, it really lays out just how big a deal this is. It's not just about spotting threats better. That 75% improvement directly leads to a 60% drop in successful attacks. And when something does manage to get through, teams are responding 40% faster.
This is the real, measurable impact of investing in training that can actually keep up.
So what does this adaptive training actually look like? Well, for starters, it's not one size fits all. It creates personalized learning paths just for you, based on your role. It uses real-time simulations of the latest threats to keep you on your toes. It even scores risk behavior to offer extra help where it's needed most. And the most critical part, the content is always evolving, automatically updating as new threats pop up.
Okay, so this all leads to what is honestly the most crucial part of this whole conversation. Because even with the best technology and the smartest rules, the final line of defense, it always comes down to people. It's about our collective vigilance.
And this right here, this is the big takeaway. In the age of AI, security is not just the IT department's job anymore. Every single employee is now on the front lines. You're both a potential target and a critical part of the defense. It requires a fundamental shift in how we all think about security.
So, what can you personally do starting today? It really means making a commitment to stay alert, to double-check those weird, out-of-the-blue requests. It means using AI tools responsibly, reporting anything that feels off without hesitating, and actually engaging with the training you're given. And maybe most importantly, it means sharing what you learn with your colleagues, because that makes the whole team stronger.
I want to leave you with this final thought because it perfectly captures our new reality. Security isn't some finish line you cross. It's a continuous journey of vigilance, learning, and adaptation. In this age of AI, that journey requires every single one of us to be an active participant in our own collective defense. The question isn't just about what our technology can do, but about how we will rise to the challenge together.